Get Helmbreakered, son! Eerie here, this time with the guide on cooking a scrambled breakfast with the Vergil Strider. So one of the challenges with Point Vergil is resource management, as Vergil is very dependent on meter for both his neutral game and his combos, which means you're going to be looking at doing a lot of resets. A great thing about this team is it has an enormous amount of reset potential, so you can very effectively mix up when, where, and how you're going to reset someone until they're just left with their head spinning until it comes unscrewed. So for this video series, I'll be going over some of your options for Oki and resets with this team. I'll start with grounded setups first, and then I'll continue into air resets, and finally some TAC and fake out setups. With that, let's jump right in. So we'll start off with some quick notes on ground recovery options. For a neutral tech, the opponent will just stand up, and they can mash almost immediately. However, if they do mash, their invincibility frames will end. If they roll, they'll have more iframes. However, there's also more time before they can attack. You'll want to get used to watching your opponent's wake-up patterns, so you can effectively read this to chase them down. A simple way to meet someone and wake up with Vergil is to just throw around trick with them. Typically, this isn't a direct mix-up, but it will stop them from mashing, and it gives you a huge advantage on block. And then from there, you can just go for a mix with your assist, and or just continue the pressure. It's worth noting that round trip is not infallible. Opponents can often avoid it by rolling, or they can fill you if you're too close. So you want to space yourself and or mix up your setups to keep people guessing. Backdashing before round trip will space you a lot. This is a very safe option that you can default to after a hard knockdown. If the opponent techs forward, they'll end up right in front of you, so just swing with normals. If they tech backwards, they will have enough space to jump the round trip, so for that you need to chase them down. You can watch how your opponent recovers while you're still throwing the round trip, and that way you can react accordingly. You can also go for soft knockdowns into round trip. An advantage of doing this is it's less predictable, as you can just go into it somewhere in the middle of your combo. For SH after ground bounce has already been used, this will leave you very close, so your opponent can throw you if they read it. However, it will catch back teching. It's worth noting that even though this loses to throws, it is still meaty against mashing. If your opponent has a 4-frame normal, that can sometimes trade. Generally though, it still favors Vergil, so you can just keep pressing buttons afterwards. If the opponent techs forward here, they will avoid the round trip, in which case this leaves you frame neutral. For crouch heavy, this spaces you a bit, which can help get you out of grab range while still being close enough to catch back teching. It's basically similar to SH, except that a normal throw will not reach. You can also use your assist to set up a teleport left-right with round trip. A simple way to do this is to do Stinger into Plasma Beam and then throw round trip, which looks like this. This is hit stun dependent, as neither the Stinger nor the Plasma Beam have immunity to hit stun decay. So if you're a medium hit stun decay, your opponent will recover in the air instead. And if hit stun decay is too high, this setup will not work, as the Stinger into Beam won't combo.
You're going down.
If your opponent techs forward, they will avoid the round trip, and they can potentially throw a front teleport depending on your timing. However, an M teleport against this will leave you frame neutral with a bit of distance, so you can just swing. You can also go for a backdash into judgment cut after a hard knockdown. If your opponent techs forward, they'll run right into it, and can get a full combo afterwards. This makes it especially useful for trapping your opponent in the corner.
You're mine. Take this! Dude! Level 1. Here I am. First attack! Air combo! There! You're mine. Take this!
Swords into teleport versus a grounded opponent normally will always hit same side. However, in an Oki situation, it can give a left-right due to the invincibility frames on Wake Up. Make sure you activate right away after the backdash here, otherwise if you're too slow, a neutral tech will recover in time to negate the mix-up.
You're going down.
Here I am. Awesome. First attack. Air combo.
You're going down.
Level 1. First attack. Air combo.
You're going down.
Level 1. Here I am. First attack. Air combo.
You're going down.
This will also work the same way off of a knockdown from lunar phase, although it is tighter.
Awesome. Level 1. First attack.
You're mine.
Take this.
You're going down.
Here I am. Awesome. Level 1. First attack.
You're mine.
Take this.
You're going down.
Here I am. Blast attack.
Here I am.
You're mine. Take this.
You're going down.
Here I am. Level 1. Blast attack.
Here I am.
You're mine. Take this.
You're going down.
Here I am.
Vajra Assist is excellent for resets, as the tracking will catch every tech direction if timed correctly. Doesn't matter where your opponent goes, Strider will find them. An easy way to set this up is to use Crouching Heavy. Call Strider on the Crouch Heavy and then go for a delayed teleport for the left-right. Vergil's Crouching Heavy has fixed hits on, which means you can go for this pretty much wherever in your combo to force a soft knockdown into the left leg.
Here I am. Here I am. Yes.
Another advantage of using this setup is it involves calling Strider at the same time as a normal round-trip extension. Therefore, it basically looks like a combo at first, and this can help with just catching players off guard.
Here I am.
Plasma Beam on Oki has good coverage, and also decent guard stun if your opponent blocks correctly. However, it does not have hitbox behind Doom, therefore if you're too close, your opponent can avoid the mix by just teching forward and potentially punish Doom. On a hard knockdown, you can backdash before the assist call to create space, so your opponent can't just tech past him. And then from there you can teleport with a small delay for the left-right.
You're mine. Take this. Come on, you're mine. Take this. Level 1. Here I am. First attack. You're mine. Take this. Come on, you're mine. Take this. Sweet. Level 1. Here I am. First attack. You're mine. Take this. Come on, you're mine. Take this. Level 1. Here I am. First attack. You're mine. Take this. Come on, you're mine. Take this. First attack. You're mine. Take this. Come on, here I am. You're mine. Take this. Level 1.
Here I am.
First that you're mine. Take this. Come on, here I am. You're mine. Take this. Sweep. Level 1.
Here I am.
First that you're mine. Take this. Come on, here I am. Level 1.
Here I am.
First that you're mine. Take this. Come on, here I am. You're mine. Take this.
On a soft knockdown, you won't have time to create more space. However, it can still be useful when Vergil's back is to a wall, as opponents are unlikely to want to tech themselves into the corner. Here are a few examples.
Here I am.
To set up with crouch heavy, you just call doom right after the crouch heavy, and then you can teleport for the left right.
Here I am.
Blast attack.
Here I am.
Come on,
Here I am.
blast attack.
Here I am.
Come on,
Here I am.
you're mine. Take this.
For SH, call doom on the upper slash. SH moves you very close, so there's a couple of things to think about here. If you delay your teleport, the left-right is harder to react to. However, there's also more risk, as if your opponent reads it, they can just neutral tech and throw you out of it.
Here I am.
On the flip side, if you teleport right away, the mix is reactable, but it's also very safe. If your opponent avoids doom by forward teching, you'll recover in time to just meet them with normals instead, at which point it's basically just a safe meeting.
Here I am.
Level 1.
Here I am.
Blast attack.
Here I am.
Blast attack.
Here I am.
One other thing worth noting is that if your opponent neutral techs here, they'll actually move forward slightly, in which case if you go for the H teleport, you'll get an ambiguous
Here
cross-up.
I am.
You're mine. Take this.
Here I am.
You're level 1. First attack.
Here I am.
You're mine. Take this. Level 1.
Here I am.
First attack.
Here I am.